Hello, Ettan, Lord of Sir Ettan, Lord of Glencoe.
Yes, or yeah, or just Lord Bazil is equally acceptable. Um, or Ettan, yeah, that
I,
works
I
as
had
well.
a I had a real quick giggle when, for whoever's watching, I sent the invite out to Ettan, and as he was joining this live, it came up with Sir Ettan, Lord of Glencoe, which did make me giggle. So 30 seconds. How did that come about, Ettan?
So it was a joke from my wife's mum, so my mother-in-law. Thanks, mum. When I was growing my plumbing and heating business, she worked for the business, and they didn't know what to buy me at Christmas because I don't really need anything. I'm one of those really hard to buy for guys. So she bought me a patch of land in Scotland, about that big, and a lordship and a certificate. And I opened it up on Christmas Day, and she called me Lord Bazil for the rest of the Christmas break, which was very funny. And it sits on my wall. Yeah,
Here we
man.
go. What do you buy a man that's got everything? Something like that. Just
Lordship.
something like that. Right, let's move into the title of this video. How will AI change the trade industries? And for future reference, Etan, you can call me Sir Thomas, Prince of Hallamshire.
All right, so Tom,
I'm sure that
lovely.
I'm sure that was on the dating. Oh, don't say it because the wife's just coming through. I was talking to Etan Kohanya. I'm videoing it as well. Yes. My wife disagrees about you calling me Prince, but just, well,
Okay.
leave that. So,
King.
back to
Tom.
how will AI change the trade industries? Anybody that has eyeballs or ears and a phone will be well aware that in every single industry on the planet, AI seems to be taking over. Yet in the trade industries, we feel, well, a robot's not going to pick up a spanner, you know? A robot's not going to come and start rewiring the house or plumbing up a boiler. Yet AI is actually still coming into the industry bit by bit. More in the would we say in the larger companies that are investing into it. But I think what I see happening is it's just going to come down into every size business in every niche of the trade industries. So I've reached out to Sir Ettan, being the AI geek that he is, to say, hey, let's, it's 22.6. There's been a lot happening in the last couple of years around AI, but I just think it's going to explode in the industries this year. So over to you, mate. Let's just have a quick 25-minute back and forth. First of all, let's start with very, very quickly. How did you start introducing AI to the business that you sold last year? Great start.
Yes, good question. So my former business was a repairs AI platform called Help Me Fix. Previous to that, I had a plumbing and heating business, and we got to a point where we we had an AI product, which is a diagnostic tool. It's used by tenants when they got a problem in their house. They can ask a few questions and tells them what's wrong and shows us some videos. It's very, very good. It's called Aiden. But as a business, we got to a point where we had about 70 clients, business to business clients. Um, we had 5 members of staff, and we only had a limited amount of money in the bank, and we were just sort of at break even, right? We were sort of breaking even, and we needed to grow. So we knew we needed to grow, but we couldn't just keep throwing money at the problem, which is what most people do. If they run into a problem, like they need to grow, they got too much incoming work, or they got too many leads or whatever, they just throw money at it and they hire people. And then what that creates is what an old associate of mine used to call a cash eating monster. You just your top line grows, but your OPEX grows, and you end up just with this huge kind of revenue line, but you're still not making the right amount of profit. So what I did was I wrote an AI strategy for the business. So I started with all of the problems that we had. So we had a big problem with credit control. We had about 1,000 overdue invoices, about 40 grand in the overdue column, and because our average invoice value was £30, you can imagine how many invoices needed to be chased on a day-to-day basis. So we started with that problem. And said, how can we solve that? Not by throwing more people at it, but how can we solve it using technology? And then we repeated that process for every single process within the business. So whether it was onboarding new clients, or whether it was prospecting for new clients, or whether it was customer success, whether it was credit control, we built a strategy to take a manual human process and replace it with an agentic AI process. And an agentic AI process means an AI that has tools and can do stuff.
This is a new word that I've heard used more often in just in the last few months. So for other people, agentic. Just
Agentic. So you've got LLMs, which is a large language model like Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini that you would speak to, and ask questions about how to write a great social post or give me something cool to put on my LinkedIn profile. And then you've got agentic AI, which is an LLM that has access to knowledge and tools. And that makes it really, really good at carrying out tasks. So the tools might be the ability to make an API call, or the ability to upload a folder to G Drive, or anything that you can think of, the ability to add something to a database. And then the knowledge part is something that's called RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, which is the ability to take a load of files, make them searchable to an AI. So you do you index them. So you add them to what's called a vector store, you make them searchable, and then you give that LLM access. And then when you ask the LLM a question, it can then go and retrieve the right data to give you the right answer. And that is agentic AI. It's an AI.
Here's the difference of where it's going. So previously, when people first started playing around with ChatGPT, it's like, oh, I'm going to write 500 blogs. I'm going to use ChatGPT for doing social media. But now we're at a point that we can give it instructions, tools, and places to go and retrieve information, and most importantly, take action. That's how it's evolved. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the first step of evolution, right? So between from LLMs to agentic AI. The second level of evolution is collaboration and delegation, which is something that's just happening now. And I'll be able to go into that in more detail. But essentially, agents that communicate with each other and give tasks to each other to go off and do as part of a bigger task. So you give the big task to, let's say, a manager agent, and that speaks to, let's say, a data analysis agent that goes and retrieves the data and passes it to the analysis agent, who then analyzes the data and then passes it over to the content writing agent. And that is collaboration and delegation. And that is the third, I suppose, defining paradigm on where this is going. From a
So
single model.
so let me just break in there. We're going from we're going from ChatGPT being an assistant. Write me a 700-word blog about frozen condensates. Off it goes. Okay, really quick. We've gone from that to now your AI can go and do something for you. Other than just being creative, it can actually take action. And what you're explaining to me there is we're basically going to get to a point that we have a team of AI workforce to run digital parts of the business. AI is not going to come around with a spanner at the moment, and AI is not coming around with a screwdriver yet. But the digital side of the business, AI can run. So on that, we forgot to mention very early in this little chat, you're coming to Sheffield in 3 weeks' time to explain this to a group of our members and a bunch of your colleagues. Can we say that?
Yeah. So I'm my current position is I'm interim head of AI at a company called Arian. and Arian have a contractor marketplace, basically a marketplace of tradespeople. They're very involved in trades. They build integrations between job management systems and their software. They're really keen on understanding like the challenges that the industry is facing, that individual businesses are facing, and they're just going to come as a listening ear to kind of learn. So they'll be joining us there. But to finish up on the previous question, um, 3 weeks time. So yeah, all be square. But to wrap up on the first question, so how do we do it? We built a strategy. We built an agentic workforce, and I think everyone knows what the word agentic means now. So we built a workforce of AI agents, and we deployed them in the business. Um, and we didn't replace anyone, but what we did do is grow from 70 clients to 300 clients and increase our revenue by 60% within 10 months. So we grew the business massively uh, using these AI agents to rather than hiring people, and we didn't increase our headcount at all or our operating expenses. So it was a real eye opener, and I that's what I now do on a day to day basis for Arion where I work. Is I build these agents to go and improve efficiency and solve things without human interaction, and so I've got pretty good at it over the last couple of years.
That's for me. That's for me. That has been trying to learn as much as I can in the last 12 months, 18 months. So I'm sure for the people that have not even put the little finger on it, this what it's going to do to the industry is huge. So let's talk around a few use cases around how do you think, starting from the most basic level, how do you think AI is now going to start doing beyond write me a blog or calculate, if we were talking about heating engineers, calculate a heat loss on this property?
Okay, we can do that. I think before we do, there's
Do I need
there's
a
something
do I
that
need a pencil?
no, I think just try not to fall off your chair because this is something that I think is really important, right?
Go
Like,
easy on me,
yeah,
Ettan.
no,
Go
I
easy.
am, and it's
Let's just start with the basics first.
okay. At the moment, most companies, most trades businesses will usually they'll have a telephone, they'll have a website, they might have a few automations here and there. They'll have someone picking up the phone, usually the poor person that's going to do the job, if they haven't grown up to that point where they've got someone in the office. Um, and that's their day to day. And because of that, they have the running cost of the office, they've got the running cost of the person that picks up the phone, they've got the running cost of the bookkeeper who's doing all the books for them. They've got all of these costs, right, that make up a business. And the idea is that, you then set your prices, if you're smart, above your costs so that you can make a profit as a trades business, because otherwise you're just working for free. And a lot of businesses at least understand that concept. But what people may not be aware of is there's going to be a new type of business emerging. The new sharpshooters of tomorrow, tomorrow's gas engineers, tomorrow's plumbers, tomorrow's chippies, there will be AI enabled trades businesses, and they won't have those costs of the office and the person that's in the office and the bookkeeper and all of the admin stuff. And so therefore their cost level will be here, and they'll set their price above their cost level to make a profit. Just the same as the business with the cost level that's up here that sets their price just above their cost level.
I'm going to hope that the people that are smart enough and make that investment, I'm going to hope that their profit margin's a little bit higher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's hope so.
but
So
what we're saying, even with a bigger profit margin, it's still going to be lower than the dinosaur businesses that are trying to do everything on paper with as many office staff as possible.
AI first trades businesses of 20 completely automated will have lower running costs, which means that they can set their prices lower, which means that non-AI enabled trades businesses, those that don't embrace the change, don't try and make a change within their business now, due to the law of economics, will end up basically being priced out by the newer generation of AI businesses. So this is when you say your title on your slide that says, how will AI impact or affect trades businesses? Massively, because the companies that are AI native, they have AI in all of their processes, will clean up the market, and the rest of us will be left um, scrabbling around. So a little bit scary, but the good news is that we're way ahead of the curve. So we're right at the beginning of this journey, and there's lots and lots that can be done by existing businesses and those that actually have that do have slightly higher prices and have slightly higher operating costs, but have a loyal customer base, have a solid sales and marketing process, have repeatable business. They're going to benefit massively, because when they deploy these AI processes in their business, it's going to drive down their operating costs, and there's going to be a much healthier margin for them there. So all positives actually.
I'm just looking off screen because as you talk, I'm trying to pull up a review that I saw the other day. So please carry on, because you're gonna like this review when I find it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's the big question, right? So how will AI impact the trades industries? The other one is this, and I talk about this whenever I get a chance to talk on camera. I always talk about this. Millions of people globally are going to lose their jobs and be replaced, and we can cover those on some of those shortly, when we talk about efficiencies. But millions and millions and millions of people, perhaps 300 million globally, will lose their jobs due to AI. So all of those kind of junior entry level jobs, admin, bookkeeping, picking up the telephone, all of that kind of stuff, that's all going to go. So what are those people going to do? Um, my bet for the future is they're going to seek to retrain as in safe, secure careers, tradespeople, nurses, tradespeople, carers, counsellors, nurses, anything that involves a situation where you've got to have two human beings connected in a property or together to be able to solve a shared issue. And what that's going to do is it's going to be great, right? Because it's going to solve our massive recruitment bottleneck, we hope, in trades, which is the biggest bugbear of any established business right now, is recruitment. But it's also going to create, again, more opportunities to grow, because these people will need jobs. There'll be more jobs to do. We've got to build data centers. We've got to build houses. We've got all of these jobs that we need to do to house people, and so there's going to be a whole load of opportunity. And those companies that have AI deployed in every level of the business will have access to the right staff. They'll be able to get the staff, and they'll be able to grow much faster than they would be in today's environment. So just wanted to lay those couple of things out there on a big level in terms of how will it impact the trades industry. But we can go into specifics if you like, some specific use cases on ways to deploy AI.
I'd like to, but I'm just going to come back to the last part that you said. I'm just shooting off some of my thoughts. I guess as we make the business more efficient, what we used to spend money on, we've now got this pot of money left over. And what you've suggested there is some businesses may cut their fees, what they're charging, and therefore undercut businesses that are not applying to AI. I'm seeing it as, well, if we've got this pot of money, yes, we can keep more of it for profit. I think that's what most people are going to do, is keep more profit. And yes, the question is, do we undercut? But also, maybe we just redistribute that money elsewhere. So potentially, I was always a big fan of delivering 5-star customer service. I believed in it. At every single point that I spoke to the customer, It was fixed price boilers, five-star service. Now I thought that we was a little we had too many hands on deck. In order to deliver that five-star customer service, we had too many hands on deck, and ultimately we wasn't profitable enough. So maybe it's a case of, you don't have to pay for 3 members of staff in the office if one member of staff can do it and supported by AI, and potentially it just frees up more budget to pay for another hands-on tools engineer to go out and smooth over any problems that may come up. That's just one thing there. But the more profit is available, the more that we can reinvest that into new technology. And big fan of this. Wait for it. Training up apprentices. Yeah, can't afford apprentices, can we? Why can't we afford apprentices? Because it costs so much money. But if we have more profit available within the business, maybe we can all see that so many of the older folk are leaving the industry, and there's not enough young people coming through. So maybe that's a case of, we can afford to train up an 18-year-old.
And we're going to need to, Tommy. I mean, don't get me started on apprenticeships, because you know how I feel about apprenticeship. We need 300,000 skilled construction workers by the end of 2028. Like that, those are the numbers. We're 300,000 short. We don't have enough people, because we're in this cycle of, there's not enough incentive to train apprentices. It slows down the engineer. It slows down the engineers. They can't get as many jobs done. But we need them. Yes, to pay. Yeah, and this is what we need to be doing, training the next generation. I almost see this as, you know, almost like a mandatory thing that we should be doing as craftsmen, like as tradespeople. We should be training the next generation, just like the previous generation trained us. We should be carrying that on, but it's very difficult for a small trades business to do that, because they can't afford it. They can't afford to take on an apprentice. There's not enough support. And then, they train them up for 3 years. The first year they go out on their own, and then they leave. So all that investment is then wasted. But you're right, with more available profit, there's more things, that you can spend more on training staff, building a culture, growing your sales and marketing spend to create more work to pay for all of those people. So it's a self-fulfilling cycle. So, it's not something to be scared of. It's something that's going to bring a lot of opportunity to our sector.
I just want to cut into to that part there. So in some aspects, we're saying AI is going to allow the businesses of the future to cut costs by not having as many office-related tasks. But can we argue the case that because by redistributing the money that's coming in into other areas of our business, what you've just touched on there is marketing, because a lot of tradespeople do not have a marketing budget.
Yeah.
You don't have a marketing budget, so how do you think you're going to go from $250,000 to $500,000, from $500,000 to $1 million if you don't have a budget?
Yeah.
Or I pay Checkatrade a grand a month. Is that it?
And this is it. You should be spending 10% of turnover on marketing, but nobody, at least.
You've got £1,000 website, and you pay Checkatrade £1,000 a month, and that's your marketing. But this time next year, Rodney, you want to be on $500,000. It don't work like that, does it, Ettan? They need to invest. So I'm trying to guide this towards, by investing into AI, we can become more efficient. By becoming more efficient, we can make more profit. By making more profit, we can then reinvest that either into going on more 3-week holidays with your family, if that's your choice, yeah, or for those maybe a little bit younger and ambitious and kind of looking like I've got 20, 30 years in this industry, I'm going to invest into this. Or it's, well, I'm going to invest into the marketing, I'm going to invest into more AI to be more efficient, or I'm going to invest into apprentices to train up the next group. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just go to some like specific case areas, because we're on 25 minutes already. I've been playing around a lot with using AI more from a customer service point of view, marketing, which in our event in 3 weeks' time, I'll deep dive on that, and I'm sure many other videos that I talk about on wherever we put this video, I'll be talking about it. But I'm just going to dive into your brain there. Other than marketing, and to some extent, that first initial customer contact, which I'm saying put an AI in place for that first customer contact, where else do you think this can go?
There's so many use cases. I mean, look, we talked about five-star customer service, right? Imagine a world where somebody hits your website and they have a conversation with an AI that then asks them about their job, asks them to upload photos of the job. They're uploading photos. They upload a video, which is a walk around of their house. It asks them a question about what types of heating system they have. And then when they finish and they press enter, they literally are redirected to a page where you, Tommy, are sitting there and you say, "Hello, Mrs. Miggins. Thanks a lot for your inquiry. And I'm looking at you like you're looking at me now. I'd like to walk through your quote with you." And the AI has already gone in the background, found the parts that are required, understood what's required of the job, costed it up based on your rates and based on the location of the property, then gone and created a full PDF quote, sent it to the customer, created a script for an AI avatar, given them a link, and then they're having a two-way interaction with a Tommy that's walking them through their quote and asking them any questions about public liability insurance and about their gas safe registration. And then says, "Would you like to go ahead, Mrs. Miggins?" And she says, "Yes." And then Tommy goes, "Okay, lovely." And the job's already created in the job management software and allocated to the engineer, and the route's already been calculated via AI to maximize on the petrol use or the diesel use from job to job to job. This is a world that sounds like Star Trek, but it's not.
It sounds it sounds absolutely bonkers. So, but I can see that this is going to happen. I've seen the technology. I've been playing around with the technology, but let me just share you. I'm just going to press one finger button. Okay. Experienced a leak throughout the festive period. Great support from Ryan and team to fix. Their AI chat support is very efficient and supportive. Hugely impressive across the board with excellent old school customer service. So this was an AI installed on a website speaking to whatever the customer's name was over Christmas while engineer is with his family. And the AI is taking over that conversation, so that when when this engineer's come back to work whenever it was 3rd of January, the customer feels as though they've been looked after already, and then the humans come in with the spanners and fix what needs to be fixed. But
that's a great use case.
That's step one. The what I've been talking about, that first impression when a customer interacts with your business. But doing the quote, an AI avatar, I've seen them, mate. I've seen them.
Pricing the parts, even purchasing the parts. We've got, if you're looking at just two-way chat, I mean, we've got nearly 250,000 properties across the country using our AI diagnostic tool, Aiden. And the busiest it ever is at Christmas, so that all of the engineers can go home and spend time with their families. But if you've got a care plan customer and you want to give them wraparound service 24 hours a day, well, the best way to do it, the cheapest way to do it, is by using an AI that specializes in repairs and knows all about how to stop a leak. But there's loads of other use cases, internal use cases. Quoting is a massive win. You know, chasing invoices, credit control, massive win that you can build. And one of the easiest ones is voice, right? So having AI voice, AI to pick up the phone, maybe not during office hours because you're not building that. You want to be building that rapport with the customer. But when the office is closed, rather than hitting this mailbox is full, you know, having a nice two-way conversation with an AI that you know is an AI, but that can tell you, you know, when John's coming in the morning to fix your boiler and,
They can
you know,
assure you. They can assure you.
yeah,
I can take your details. It just that review there automatically, rather than the customer bouncing off and finding someone else that was open at whatever day of Christmas that was. The customer felt this company is a little bit different.
yeah.
I'll wait. Look, if that's their customer service at first interaction when the human can't pick up the phone, I'm going to wait, you know? And I think, yeah, it's just really, really exciting where this is going, and it's just speeding up.
It is, and I think that the only problem with this, the biggest problem with this is keeping up, because you know you go to bed one night and you wake up and the game has changed again. So what you thought wasn't possible yesterday is now possible today. But so it is. You know, do sign up to a few AI newsletters, see what's coming around the corner, because really, and I've said this to you before, Tommy, anything you can think of, it is possible now. Pretty much, you could even automatically get someone to send a lumpy mail to some little village in Nigeria that no one's ever heard of using AI. Like it's everything is possible. So that's something to just go away with. But we've got a lot of work. We've got some workshops, haven't we? We've got some talks. We've got some workshops at the event. It's 3 weeks time. It's gonna be great fun.
Three weeks today, but forgive me, is it
Three
January the
weeks today.
30th? Is it the
3 weeks
30th?
today.
It is. It's January the 30th in Sheffield. Rob's on with getting the venue booked today, I believe. So it's a free event. If you're interested, if you're watching this and you're interested in coming on, just PM me. It's a free event, but it is limited space. So our Built to Last members have got first priority on that. This is like our annual January meetup. Then you've got your colleagues coming from Arion.
Yeah,
Did I
from
pronounce
Arian.
that correctly? Arion.
Arian.
But there may be some spare seats left after that. So if you are interested, hit me or Ettan up. I think that's enough for people to chew on at 33 minutes. It's going to be an exciting year. Watch this space. Watch Ettan. Follow Ettan. Can follow you on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's the best place. Yeah, so just find me on LinkedIn. And if you're feel free to reach out if I can help in any way as well.
Yeah, I'm spending more and more time on LinkedIn. Facebook's kind of lost its way, but I am very very invested into recording as much video content like this and putting it onto YouTube. So you'll find me hanging out on LinkedIn and posting long form videos on YouTube. So Sir Ettan, Lord of Glencoe,
Glencoe. Yeah, Lord of Day.
remembered it. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Tommy.
All right, bud.
Bye.